Surfing is the only life, the only way for me. Now surf, surf with me.
In fact, it was a group of mostly non-surfers that would create the next big wave in surf music. 5 kids, raised in the suburbs of LA, took the surf sound, added lyrics and increasingly complex harmonies, and created the image of a white teenager's Nirvana. They called themselves the Pendletones, but when their first single, Surfin', came out, the label read The Beach Boys. The group was largely a family affair. Brian Wilson, his high school friend Al Jardine, a cousin Mike Love, and Brian's 2 younger brothers, Dennis and Carl. While all 5 contributed to the success of the band, the musical heart of the group was Brian. He drew his inspiration from an unlikely source, a song heard on the car radio with his mother when he was 14.
Day by day, you're making...
Yeah, we heard Day by Day, she and my aunt and I. And I said, what's that? I love that sound. That's the Four Freshmen, Brian. That's the Four Freshmen. You know? I couldn't believe it. It really amazed me. I learned everything. All my harmonies. I learned so much from it.
The sophisticated 4-part harmonies of the Four Freshmen captured Brian's imagination, and Wilson family gatherings provided enough voices to recreate them. Years later, those same harmonies became the basis for the Beach Boys' sound. With Brian controlling the melodies and harmonies and often others supplying the lyrics, the Beach Boys were a sensation from their second single on. Quickly established as a gifted songwriter and arranger, Brian wanted to produce, a job already filled by Nick Vanette, assigned to the group by their record company, a standard practice of the day.
He didn't really do much except just tell, okay, fellas, take one and take, you know. That's where we left, because we wanted to branch out and do something new. So so my dad, who was our manager then, told Nick that we were leaving. And from then on, we produced our own records.
The simplicity of the lyrics of early Beach Boys songs often belied the complexity of the underlying harmonies. Brian Wilson felt it was the producer's task to make it sound simple.
Surfer Girl was our first real creation, the birth of a more loving kind of a feeling. And it was tough to do because, let's put it this way. Surfer Girl, the complexity of the harmonies, if you'll notice when you're listening, they go by just without you really hearing them. It carries on unconsciously. That's one thing Surfer Girl did.
Wilson, at 21, had achieved a status that was new to the industry. By the end of 1963, he not only wrote or co-wrote the songs, but he performed and produced them as well, becoming a true rock and roll auteur.
You know, it's an amazing thing because you have hit after hit. Who determines, Brian, what will be done next?
Well, I guess I do. I don't know. I write the songs and produce them, so I have a lot to say about it.
The sweetness of his productions also hid a fiercely competitive nature. He constantly measured his work against that of the most renowned producer of the day.
Phil Spector. He was everything. Like there's nothing to compare. He was it. The biggest inspiration of my whole life. Yeah, I was in my car with my girlfriend, and we were driving around. All of a sudden, this guy, Wink Martindale, a disc jockey, he goes, "All right, here we go with Be My Baby by the Ronettes." And we started playing, you know. Yeah, I like beat, you know. And all of a sudden, they got into this part. Be my baby. And I said, what? Whoa, whoa! I pulled over to the side of the street, and the curb, and I went, my God, wait a minute! I went, no way! I was flipping out. I really did flip out. Balls out, totally freaked out when I heard it. Freaked me out. And I got my mind blown, pretty much. I know it's funny. I mean, actually, in a way, it wasn't really getting your mind blown. It's like getting your mind revamped. It's like once you've heard that record, you're a fan forever.
Spector's productions would remain a lifelong inspiration to Brian Wilson. He would later say, "I was unable to really think as a producer until I really got familiar with Phil Spector's work." Wilson came to rely on the same musicians Spector used to supply the instrumental tracks for Beach Boys records, bringing in the other members of the band mainly to record vocals. Be My Baby also inspired Wilson to write a song for the Ronettes to record, but Spector rejected it. Instead, Don't Worry Baby became a hit for the Beach Boys in 1964. By then, a new group had stormed America and abruptly changed the rules. Wilson would later write, "Suddenly I felt unhip, as if we looked more like golf caddies than rock and roll stars."
When I first saw the Beatles,